Hello, welcome to the Esoteric Podcast OST review.
Hey everyone, I'm T.J.Bunker. With me as always is Wesley, otherwise known as Demosci. We are reviewing Sonic. One of the Sonics.
Sonic 06.
That's not its name though.
It was originally supposed to be a reboot of the series that got cancelled after the game's poor critical reception.
Right, but that's still not its name.
Mm.
Its name is, I think, just still Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
And it comes out, or it came out in 06.
Yes.
But, yeah, I have to agree with Yahtzee on this one, that somebody needs to really think about these naming conventions and how the fuck they're going to look down the line, you know. And it's really only video games that do this. I mean, books rarely, if ever, even number sequels.
Yeah.
A sequel book has a completely different name. It's only been kind of recently that movies have even started doing it. I mean, and even then, not a lot of movies do it. I mean, the new thing is to include the original name, but with a new thing. Like, it's not Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, it's Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be Avengers 3 Infinity War, it's just going to be Avengers Infinity War. But, I mean, if you go look at all the Dirty Harry movies, they've all got different names. Yeah, I mean, there's a few. The Fast and the Furious franchise comes to mind, where they have to give everything a freaking number.
And then you look at the new one on the horizon, and you're like, no, please, no more.
But yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, video games, they don't understand titles, I guess. Because Sonic
are overrated.
Yeah, Sonic is by far the not the first people, or the only people to do this. I suppose they might have been the first. I don't actually know if they were the first, but they're not the only ones.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, Thief has done it, and fucking, yeah, just everybody does this shit.
Yeah, it's... The title thing really is one of those things for me. It's like, which one do I play first? Well, this one has the same name as the first one, but it's on the PS4, while the first one was on the SNES.
Yeah, did you see Yahtzee's review of Battlefield 1 a couple weeks ago?
Oh, I was laughing so much at that.
Yeah, he opens by tearing into the fact that, you know, there's Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 1942, and somewhere in the middle they skip like 1900 some sequels that nobody can find.
Yeah. It's bad. But the Sonic 06 OST. First of all, I want to talk about Sonic 06.
We have to. Isn't this the one where, like, Sonic made out with a human chick?
And it's also the one that was so glitchy that speedrunners actually can't properly speedrun it with some of the glitches they want to do.
I don't know what that means.
I think, if I remember reading correctly, Sonic 06 is one of those games speedrunners will never do because there's so many glitches that if they get in a glitch, it might glitch and stop them and prevent them from actually finishing the game.
Okay, that is vastly different than what you started with.
Yes, I realize.
Your first phrasing intimated that they were so many glitches that they somehow couldn't, like, decide which the best ones to take advantage of or something. Which, yeah, would be a silly way of phrasing it, but...
Yeah. It's, I often say Assassin's Creed Unity is the Sonic 06 of the Assassin's Creed franchise, so if that gives you any indication...
That because you're dumb?
I don't know why. I just call it that because Sonic 06 is one of the glitchiest games ever, and I'm surprised it actually made it out into store shelves with the fact that they had they originally when they released the demo versions, the demo version was actually more advanced than the original game. Like, they didn't have any of the bugs ironed out for
Why did you call it the original game? That sounds like the demo is the one that came out after it.
Okay, I should rephrase. The demo was more advanced than the retail game. The actual game that got released.
Okay.
So they like the demo, the product they had for the demo apparently got so bad that they had to go back to an older version. Which Sonic 06 has a very development hell history, and one of the reasons why it sucks is because of all the glitches. Also because furries.
I don't think you know what development hell is.
Like, yeah, I probably don't.
Yeah, because development hell is when it's stuck in development for an obscenely long amount of time, and doesn't have funding or people working on it, or video games rarely end up in what is commonly referred to as development hell. That's more of a movie thing.
Okay.
Where a movie gets started, they buy up a property. The Mass Effect movie is one I happen to think of off the top of my head, where I don't even know which studio. Some studio paid EA to buy the rights to make a Mass Effect movie, and somebody started writing a script, and the producers are working on it, sort of, but it's been 4 years, 5 years since the movie was announced as a thing that is happening. They don't have a finished script. They don't have casting. They don't have any filming dates. They don't have the movie on schedule, for release yet. The one of the only games that I can think of that I know for a fact was in a similar quandary would have been Duke Nukem Forever. What became Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah.
Because that was being worked on, and then it wasn't, and then it was again, and 15 years later they put out a game.
A game we wish they'd never put out, but it was a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think Sonic 06 could ever qualify as being in development hell.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from there, yeah.
Especially considering that I believe they actually had a rather short turnaround on the game.
Yeah.
Because I also believe this game is one of the first ones done by their LA team, or their West Coast US team that they started up, that Sega started. Mm-hmm. If I remember right. And it was only, 2 years after they started that Sonic was released.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they were definitely not in development hell.
Okay.
If anything, they didn't have enough time to work on the game.
Yeah.
Their turnaround was too short.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all the bugs come from.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, we're actually supposed to be talking about the soundtrack on this show.
Yes.
And I'm actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed the soundtrack for this.
Yeah, it's one of the high points of the game, actually.
Well, I've never played the game, so I have no idea if it's a high point for the game. But on its own, the soundtrack is actually listenable.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was surprised by, taken aback by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had a lot of nice orchestral pieces, some hard-hitting rock, and then...
I don't remember any orchestral pieces.
I'm thinking of the gosh, I can't remember which song I'm thinking of. It was one of the one with lyrics.
Well, there aren't a lot of those.
This World. That's the song I'm thinking of. It kind of begins with a violin piece that I really liked.
You are aware that a violin does not an orchestra make.
Yes, I realize that.
Okay. So, yeah, that is not orchestral. Then that's a violin.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was a fan of the soundtrack through and through. It was really nice.
Yeah, I found that there was a lot of synth and techno kind of music on it. There are some other styles, but a lot of synth, techno, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's actually really surprising. I didn't loathe it. I really, really thought I was gonna fucking hate the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Game. Just, I've never heard anything good about the game, and at no point in time did I think that a game that was that bad would ever have a decent soundtrack. But yeah, this one really surprised me. It's not as over the top as, what did we review last week?
Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 13, yeah. Final Fantasy 13 was just so big and bombastic. This is not big and bombastic at all. There are a number of pieces where the repetition in the music is noticeable. And if I, of course, listen to this while browsing the internet and stuff, so if I notice the repetition, that's a little negative there. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty good. But yeah, unlike, say, the Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack that we reviewed, there are not long pieces designed to span entire levels on this soundtrack. There are a number of, 20, 30-second songs that, I don't know, something must happen in the game. I mean, one of them is called Dr. Eggman Appears.
Yeah, that's probably when you first meet Dr. Eggman or something.
Yeah, so I don't exactly know what all of these things are, and there's a whole bunch of tracks just labeled as event. This happens. That range, from 30 seconds to 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
That I don't know exactly what's going on in the game. I'm assuming, when you go fight a boss, they've got a track that plays, and I guess if they expect you to beat the boss pretty quickly, there's no need for a, 5-minute piece. A 2-minute piece will do, and if you really suck, well, it just repeats. And I suppose some of these 30-second things might only happen once, and just a short little 30-second cutscene or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the downside to this is I only am able to find the first disc of 3. A physical copy, assuming it came in a physical copy.
I think they did. I want to say they did have physical copies.
Okay. But yeah, nobody's selling one of those. So all you can get on Amazon is if you're a Prime member, and then you can get the first volume digitally. I suppose you could probably buy it too, but I'm a Prime member, so I get it free digitally. So yeah, harder to come by. But yeah, I mean, for me, even though I'm surprised at how much I liked it, it's not a thing that's going to end up in a rotation anywhere for me. It's just not that interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... the Sonic 06 soundtrack is one of those things where there's, like, 2 or 3 songs I'll come back to, but beyond that, it's not, like, my main... It's not in my, like, top 10 of, like, Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy VII, or those types of OSTs that I like.
Final Fantasy VII made your top 10?
I really like the synth, man. It was good.
Okay. I mean, I don't dislike Final Fantasy VII, but listening to it outside of the video game gets old quickly for me.
I don't know why. It's something about that, the way it sounds, that I really like.
Okay, that's bizarre, but whatever. You're a crazy little man.
I listened to Parasite
girl thing.
I listen to Parasite Eve OSTs the Parasite Eve OST while I go for walks. I'm not crazy at all.
No, the crazy part is that you constantly go for walks, but are scared of public transportation.
Only a little bit.
Oh my god, you might get mugged and raped on the bus!
That's a vote of confidence. Anyways, final thoughts for me. Not the best OST, not the worst OST. If you like... I mean... I'm not gonna say it's music. You're
not gonna say it's music, okay?
I'll
take a strong stand there, man.
It's interesting. I mean, I hesitantly suggest it. If you're just looking for something and you've already run through your top 10 OSTs and you're like, I want something new to listen to that might not be as interesting, but hey, it's music, I'd suggest this.
Okay. So yeah, that is our take on Sonic the Hedgehog, plus whatever other random stuff we want on. But yeah, so this has been the Esoteric Podcast OST review. We do these weekly on Tuesdays. We also do a regular podcast. It's live, about 2 hours long, over on twitch.tv/the_esoteric_podcast. God, I hate saying those underscores. We should fix that someday.
Someday.
And obviously you found us on YouTube, but if you just found this random video, we do have an entire channel, bunch more videos. Subscribe to our channel, like our videos, check them out, leave comments. You can also check us out on Twitter. We Twitter poorly. So, yeah, that's a thing. But, yeah, you can at least go find out when all our videos are up. But, yeah, or you can check us out on our website. We have a website. It is theesotericpodcast.com, where we do a weekly blog. And we also do put our links to our videos and better videos over there. So yeah, that's a that's a I forgot. If
you like
Patreon, you like what we do, you want to support us, you want to give us some money, maybe so you can see our faces, maybe you just want to say thanks for doing what we do. Give us some money over at patreon.com/esotericpodcast. Check us out and yeah, let us know what you think. We love hearing from people who like what we do. So drop us a line and yeah, check us out next week when we review, I don't know,
Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Suicide Squad OST.
Doing that, I don't know why. It'll be our first ever non-video game soundtrack, I guess. That'll be new and interesting.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of things to say about that one.
Are you planning on murdering yourself? Because I won't stop you.
No, but that's a topic of conversation for